The COVID-19 situation, if I can call it situation, is really bringing to light a lot of different problems in our society. And now these are issues that have always been there and we have talked about in some measure or another for the most part. But it certainly is exacerbating a lot of the problems that were already there. So but that's probably a more accurate description of a lot of the social issues that have come up during this time. And one of the problems that obviously, again, predates COVID 19, but is seeing an increase now during this new pandemic age is the real horrific issue of elder abuse. And someone that has some experience dealing with legal cases surrounding elder abuse is Jasmine Daya. She's the managing principal of Jasmine Daya and Company, a personal injury law firm here in Ontario. Jasmine, thank you for your time this afternoon.
Thanks so much for having me.
It's nice to chat with you again. We chatted a couple of weeks ago. I wish it was about a more positive topic, but the positive thing is that we have people like yourself who are keeping an eye out for elder abuse and who are able to arm us with information about how to stop it and nip it in the bud. Tell us a little bit about what we're seeing right now in this time span with COVID-19 and how it's impacting rates of abuse with the elderly population.
Well, you stated very accurately that we have a situation that is not new. Elder abuse has existed for as long as, we've had elders, and we've got long-term care facilities in Ontario that help elderly with their care. There's actually, I've got a statistic from February 2019 that shows that there was a wait list. There's a waiting list for people to get into these homes that provide 24-hour nursing care, personal care, help with activities. The list was 34,834 people. So in the residents right now in Ontario, we have 78,000 residents that reside in long-term care homes. And unfortunately, at some of these homes, we've seen for years elder abuse, which involves physical, psychological, financial abuse, as well as neglect. And now with COVID, we're seeing an increase in issues. We just look at the numbers and it's staggering, and it's obvious that we have a problem. So we've got, as of yesterday, 444 deaths at long-term care homes in Ontario, and the total as of this morning was 659 deaths total in Ontario. So you can see that while we've got elders in a high-risk category, you have to wonder what's going on behind closed doors at these long-term care homes.
Yeah, it's a situation that obviously is big in the news cycle right now. The premier was talking about it again today, talking about conditions at long-term care homes, and I have Natalie Mera coming on in a little while, executive director of the Ontario Health Coalition, to talk about those very numbers that you've cited there, Jasmine. And yeah, it does raise some serious questions, and we know that our long-term care workers who are on the front lines right now, they're trying very hard to make sure that needs are met, but it just feels like there's a lot of stress on the entire system right now, and it's the cracks are really showing.
Absolutely. That's exactly the case. We've had a broken system. It's been broken. And you're right, it's cracking under pressure. COVID is uncharted territory for us. It's brought to light where the cracks are in the system and where we need to fix them. And I think that Premier Ford is doing great things to the best of his ability to try to get help to the system as best he can now. And he's acknowledged in his recent news conferences that, yes, the system is broken and we need to fix it.
Yeah, certainly. And now as we kind of try to navigate through this time, and for anyone who has, elderly family members who might be in a home, or, if they're still living on their own or what have you, what are some things that we need to look out for to help protect our elderly family members and those in the population?
Well, if you see any signs of abuse, and again, this can be verbal, it can be physical, psychological, financial. I mean, financial is a big one right now because there's a lot of scammers that are taking advantage of our seniors. Seniors aren't always aware of the digital dangers that are out there. So there's a lot of scammers that are present right now and targeting seniors that are very vulnerable because they're, especially right now, they're isolated. They've got heightened fear and anxiety, so they're targeted as victims, unfortunately. But if you suspect abuse to an elder, you want to report it to the police. You can also file a complaint with the Ministry of Health and Long-Term Care so they can do a proper investigation. You want to tell the administrators at the long-term care facility. Don't keep quiet. You need to speak out because we need to protect our seniors.
Absolutely. And, even though things are really tough right now and, we're seeing some of the, as we said, the cracks in the system that are showing. I hope that once we move through this most critical period, we really take all of this to heart and do our absolute best to improve the system so that we don't still have these vulnerabilities moving forward and that there are, better fail safes put in place to protect this population.
I hope so too. I really do. And, I'm going to do everything in my power to assist in that regard.
Well, Jasmine, thank you so much for your time today and in talking about this and giving us some things to look out for and just a good course of action if we do see something concerning. I know that people appreciate it. Knowledge is power, and being able to act on suspicions is pretty important right now. So thank you so much for your time.
It's been my pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Take care and stay safe, okay?
You too.
Bye-bye. That's Jasmine Daya, managing principal of Jasmine Daya and Company, personal injury law firm here in Ontario, talking about elder abuse, talking